Australia is represented in the Danish capital by Kevin Rudd and South Australia by Mike Rann. We journalists can read their media releases, which we have. We can get transcripts of their media conferences. We'd like to go and see them work and play because journalists are brought up to trust everyone a little bit and no one a lot. So we trust neither media releases nor delegates with the full story. So, to tell the story of Copenhagen, we'll go to Amsterdam and Erebus and Atlantis and Ardrossan. Amsterdam is slowly sinking into the sea. The low countries are getting lower. The sea isn't rising, the land is sinking. Compare the European land mass with the waterbed. One side goes up, the other goes down. Scandinavia is popping up out of the Earth's crust because the last ice age, which ended 10,000 years ago, has finished and the enormous weight of the ice is no longer squeezing it down. It goes up, Holland goes down. In some places in Antarctica, the ice is 3 kilometres thick, but Antarctica hasn't always been covered by ice. It used to be warm. You remember Jurassic Park? There were Antarctic jungles in the Jurassic period. There's coal there today from ancient forests. But the climate changed, and it's still changing, and some now blame humans. They blame carbon dioxide emissions, like burning coal, from ancient forests. But neither Rudd nor Rann, or Al Gore, can do anything about carbon dioxide emissions from volcanoes, like Mount Erebus in Antarctica, or Mount St Helens, or Vesuvius, or Krakatoa, or the eruption which 3,500 years ago blew part of the islands in the Aegean Sea into the sky and others into the sea. And that's the genesis of the Atlantis myth. Through history, volcanoes release more carbon dioxide than humans have since the very first time that we first used fire, much more. Which brings us to Ardrossan on the York Peninsula. Australia might like to try and cut its carbon dioxide emissions, but all it takes is a bushfire like the one a few years ago on the York Peninsula, and our carbon dioxide emissions go through the roof, or in fact into the atmosphere. In fact, Australia is very prone to bushfire, so Kevin Rudd in Copenhagen wants it to specifically exclude natural events like bushfires from CO2 calculations. New Zealand, Java, Japan and the fiery Pacific Rim, they have to exclude natural events like volcanoes. Still, that's climate change, and if it wasn't for climate change, Copenhagen would still be under a sheet of ice, and this week's conference could have been held in the Minoan civilization, perhaps even in Atlantis.